Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm so excited. We got the team up here. We got the gang.
Yes.
And we are here this morning from the Accessible Plus team representing Coachella and here to talk about a topic that is incredibly important to all of us, and that's disability justice.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing I want to do is just see who's up in here with me. So my name is Keri Gray. I serve as the impact producer for the Accessible Plus program, which is a program that empowers BIPOC disabled people all across the industry doing amazing and incredible things. I'm from Texas. I'm from Longview, Texas. I specifically say the south side of Longview, Texas all day. Sis, I got both of my sisters up here.
Hey,
It
sis.
feels so good. How y'all doing this morning?
Oh man, I'm good. My voice is a little hoarse
A
because
little Coachella.
a little. I lost it at Coachella, but
The
we
desert.
Here. I love it. It's good.
I love it. Chantel, how you doing this morning?
Doing good. Happy to be here and excited for this conversation today.
Absolutely.
I love. Why don't you tell the people who you are?
Oh man.
Where you rep?
Sure, you want to do that?
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. So, hey y'all, I'm Sabeerah Najee, and I am the concept producer for Accessible Plus, and I am from Long Beach, California.
Hey,
Gotta shout that out
that
every
part.
day, all
That
day.
part.
So, yeah, I'm just really happy to be here. This is
I'm
amazing.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'm with my sisters right now. We good.
Yeah.
Hey now.
Sis, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm Chantel Diaz. I'm from West Covina, California. Yeah.
I love.
Yeah.
So we represent a program and a team that is just so about community.
Mhm.
We're out here wanting to talk about a subject that if it relates to you, whether personally in terms of disability justice or you're an ally, we're here for you. This conversation for us to bond, to vibe, for us to get connected. But, first off, we got to start with just, some smooth ways and just get to know the folks on the stage. So I'm just curious. I'm gonna start off with a random, and we're gonna work our way
Let's
a
go.
little bit deeper. So just so we can get to know each other, sis, I'm gonna start with you, Sabeerah, if that works.
Let's go.
I'm curious if you could be a part of. I've been thinking about this lately. Any
Yeah.
fictional family,
Okay.
because family, community, all
Right.
this and that. If you could be a part of any fictional family, which one would you be a part of? Who's up in there? Who you up in there
Ooh.
with?
For me, I'd probably say like the royal family of Wakanda.
Girl, yes.
To be honest with you, even
Girl,
though they went through a
yes.
lot of trauma,
Yeah.
rest in peace, Chadwick. But
Yeah.
that's an easy call right there.
Yeah.
That's an easy call.
What makes you say Wakanda?
I'm a big techie. I'm a tech head for
yeah.
sure. And there's something that I find really interesting in how they merge ancestral culture
Yeah.
with technology
Yeah.
in such an organic way
Yeah.
that isn't like it's not in this like overpowering kind of like, it's an industrial or technological revolution. So
Yeah.
let's get rid of the old ways, and it's none of that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So that alone has me for sure.
I love that. Afrofuturism.
Afrofuturism,
Shout out
baby.
to that. I love it.
Yeah.
Chantel, I'm curious. We thinking about community,
Mhm.
family. If you could be a part of or have somebody join you, any fictional family, who would it be?
I feel like mine's not as thought out as Sabeerah's is. I feel like you got this question early on and knew what you wanted to say.
Got it.
For me, I think humor is healing. So I definitely would want to be with a family that has a lot of fun and is funny. So I would have to go with like the Banks.
Oh yeah.
I just feel like
Yeah.
like being in that family, especially with Will, like they just had a lot of fun, and Carlton's hilarious to me. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
my
I'd want to be the other
God.
cousin that lived in the house.
You think, do you think you'd be doing a Carlton dance with him? Like,
I might
Hey,
might have
get
to
it.
remix it a little bit.
I get
but-
Real. So you talking about the OG
Yes,
Prince? Oh.
definitely the OG.
Yeah.
Because this new one,
The
I don't
new
know
one
what's
is
going on
deep.
in that
It's
one.
just-
I'm catching
It's
up.
deep.
They got some serious issues.
Serious issues. I'm like, damn.
The drama version
Right,
of
right.
it. I love that. You know what? For me, I think I would do the Proud Family.
Ooh,
Like,
I can see that.
you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, to me, it's the perfect balance of you at school and they just like wilding. You know what I'm saying? When I saw the Proud Family, I was like, that's my people. They talk like we talk. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They wear their hairs like we wear our hairs. They dealing with all types of stuff, but they stuck together. You know what I'm saying? As a friends and unit. So I don't know. Shout out to the reboot of the Proud Family.
Yeah,
Disney
shout out.
Plus.
I mean, it's really like a continuation. You know what I mean? Really, it feels like.
Yeah, I definitely felt that. Okay, y'all. Well, we're here to talk a little bit about disability justice.
Yes.
And, you know, our theme for this year with the Accessible Plus program was this concept called The Future is Rest.
Yes.
And Sabeerah, you came up with this concept. You know what I'm
did.
saying? You
I
were
did.
thinking about all of the things in terms of the balance between the industry, you know, because many of us working in live events, working in entertainment, I found that it is such a hustle. It's demanding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we love what we do, but it's demanding, right?
Yeah.
And so part of me is like, can you share how your work has impacted your ability to rest? Is it possible to rest and be successful at the same time?
Right.
Like, what does that look like? I'm curious.
You want to go?
Go ahead.
You sure? Okay.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay.
You go first.
I think historically, and when I say historically, I mean pre-COVID, there's always been this like hustle mentality, especially in the music industry. And it's always a hustle, always a grind. Work-life balance is non-existent.
Girl.
I feel like it's been very much like work for 2 months straight and then you get a few days off, or on our down season you get all this rest and then it just picks right back up. So I think definitely finding more of a balance is really important. So post-COVID, well, COVID itself has taught us a lot about rest, right? And the importance of things. Like, is it really important to break your back trying to push something to be completed, or is it more important for you to pour into your cup first so that you can pour into other people's cups? And so for me, I definitely learned that I can't do my job to my best ability if I'm not rested. It just doesn't happen.
So true. So true. Gotta find ways and times to put that in there. Like, I'm hearing sustainability needs to be a part of that. That's real. What you think, sis?
So for me, I didn't realize how burnt out I could be. And as much as I love, you know, my job and everything I'm doing, it's just like, I didn't realize how burnt out I could be with things until like the pandemic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when I finally had that time to just kind of stop and do nothing and break.
Right.
I was like, man, I was really burning myself out.
Right.
And I think, I've had a couple of trips to the hospital around that time. And that was definitely an eye-opener.
Yeah.
You know, my family's really big on like, you know, me, especially with me, just like me choosing my health first.
Yes.
And I didn't for a while. I was like, nah, I gotta do this.
I gotta be out here.
I have to do this.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, to echo Chantel's point, like, you know, we learn how to really value things. So for me, I learned how to really value health.
Yeah.
And the importance of it.
Yeah.
You know, I started working out. I started boxing and
You know
stuff like that. Just doing stuff I've never done. You know what I mean? So yeah, I chose health, but definitely I'm learning, and I'm continuing to learn how to just really, you know, again, pour into my own cup, and that way I'm able to help everybody else. But,
and I feel like nobody really talked about burnout. It wasn't a concept before COVID. Nobody knew what that feeling was, even though we were experiencing it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. I remember, it's funny y'all both are mentioning pandemic, because I remember, you know, many of us saw what happened to George Floyd during that time. And I remember my spirit being like, you know, in the midst of everything that I do, I'm an advocate for my community, you know, and I believe in showing up. And I remember it was such a scary time because on one hand, I wanted to be out in the streets.
Right.
And I wanted to be like, this is time for us to raise awareness. This is time for us to be out here doing our thing. And at the same time, there were so many stories about the ways that the pandemic was impacting Black and brown communities, was impacting disabled lives. And so I was torn between the calling to be out in the streets and like, you can't stop. You gotta keep pushing. And at the same time, also like, you know, how's this gonna affect our health? Are we gonna be able to make it through it? And for me, I found that, you know, disability justice calls for us to listen to those moments. Like I had to go through a period where it's like, okay, I'm out here, I'm organizing. We brought a group of people out to the White House and we were just like making our voices heard. And then there was a period where I was like, I have to sit down today. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be there tomorrow. So to me, I'm over here just thinking about like, how can we really genuinely listen to our bodies and our minds when it tells us, yes, go forth and conquer. And yes, you might also need a day to be able to sit down and just be like, somebody else help me because I don't have it in me today. Is that possible? You know what I'm saying?
I think it is. I think one way of just looking at it is before you even get burnt out, there's a feeling of like, you know what, I think I've done enough.
Yeah.
And being content with that.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you have that feeling, it doesn't necessarily feel like a burnout, but it just feels like I'm a little tired. You know what I mean? And when you feel that, you know, just say no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm learning really how to just say no and just passing up on certain things. You know, not everything is for me.
Yeah.
You know, and that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, and even if it is, if my body is tired and I'm like, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? But, you know, again, if it's not for me, it's not for me. But if it is though, it's going to come back.
It's gonna be there.
Yeah, that opportunity is going to be back.
It's going to be there.
So
I really believe that.
If you believe in that, then I feel like saying no and choosing you first and your health first, I think that's kind of the way to go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I think in that case it's important to have a team or a community around you that can pick up the baton when you just can't go anymore. In a lot of workspaces, I've been fortunate enough to have people around me that when I can't do it anymore, you know, they take the lead on it or we'll pick up the slack. So yeah, whether it be work environment or even in some of the, I don't know, volunteer work that you know, a lot of us do. I think that's key.
Yes. The community.
And vice versa for you to be able to support others when they need it as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Like
community.
Yeah.
Real community.
Yeah, no, literally. Like I'm thankful for y'all because
I'm for y'all.
Man, let me tell you, there were times where I'm like, I don't know if I could do it. And
listen.
Like, y'all been like, we got you, sis. Like you're good.
We got it.
You know,
I love that. Okay, so I'm curious. Speaking of Wakanda, you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely want to give blessings and moments to the late, great Chadwick Boseman. Just an amazing, amazing person. Yeah. And you know, in that, what I love about Wakanda is it's a futuristic reality of Black folks all across the globe.
Yep.
Right. And a couple of years ago, we learned that Chadwick Boseman was a Black disabled man by having cancer. So under the Americans with Disabilities Act, cancer is one of the things that's protected as a disability.
Right.
So what was interesting about, you know, Chadwick passing was that we learned that he had cancer for 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah, no,
continued to work in the industry, and he didn't tell anybody that he had cancer.
Yeah.
He made a decision not to disclose, right? And continued to work pretty much up until he passed, right? And so I'm curious, I feel like that's common. Like, and when I think about the disability community, when I think about our conditions that are sometimes very visible, sometimes invisible, you know what I'm saying? A lot of folks don't always disclose and talk about it out loud in the workplace. Why do y'all think that is? Why do y'all think that, people with disabilities don't disclose or even let their colleagues know, like, I'm going through something with my mental health, whatever the case may be? Like, what's been happening?
I think some people don't want to be judged. I
Mhm.
think some
Yeah.
people, it's different, right? So I think others maybe don't want a stigma attached.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yep.
Yeah, I really do feel that in some cases people just don't want to be treated differently.
Yeah.
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 The
Yeah.
To add to that, I mean,
Yeah.
the stigma alone is solely focused on what our community can't do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rather
Right.
than like uplift what we can.
Right.
Um, and I think that society kind of puts this barrier,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? This little cap
Yeah.
that says, hey, don't go above this because of your disability.
Yes.
If you go above this, then you're, considered, non-disabled or
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think people want to fit into this box that says like, hey, as long as they don't know, there's no limits for me.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, with that being said, like it's definitely the way we're viewed as a community for sure.
And
Yeah.
I think also we don't want people to tell us what we can and can't do,
Bingo.
right?
Bingo.
Because we have a disability, people will make decisions for us,
Mhm.
even if we're not in the room.
Oh,
Girl. Ooh,
Girl, if I had a dollar every time somebody was like, hey, I did this. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, I didn't tell you to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Who ran this? You
Right.
know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
for
Yeah.
real.
Very
Those
true.
executive decisions, they feel like we can't make those. And
Right.
that's crazy to me.
Right.
And it all comes from a good place, you know.
It does, though.
Yeah.
It does.
They're trying to look out, but
Yeah.
ask me.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
I just want the courtesy because it's
Yeah.
like you wouldn't do that to anybody else.
Right.
And I wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah.
So that's it. But I mean, a lot of the times it comes from love. It just
Yeah.
always comes from love. It's just a different way. You know what I mean? There's a different way to love us,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's story is different. You know what I'm saying? Like there's different conditions and disabilities. Like all of us got that. So I don't want to make it seem like universal what I'm about to say, but Chadwick Boseman, what I really appreciate about a piece of his legacy is that he challenges this idea that you can be sick and work at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times when folks hear, oh, you have cancer, they immediately want you to sit down. They want you to lay in bed.
That's when
They
those
think
decisions
of
come out.
all of the extreme versions of what they've seen of that condition, right? And Chadwick Boseman, he was working on, if y'all seen the Five Bloods with Spike Lee,
Yep.
and it was out in Thailand and jungle and the army, and it was like a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And for him, I think he made a very conscious decision. This is my opinion, that like that's the legacy I want to leave.
Yeah.
He took intentional roles. You know what I'm saying?
Very much so.
And so to me, again, when I think about building more inclusion in the industry, I love what y'all was talking about of like access. Be in conversation, right? Like you don't necessarily want to be a person that says the moment you find out your team member has a condition, we ain't even gonna put them on that job. We're not even gonna ask them about that type of opportunity because we're worried about what their body or their mind might be able to handle.
Right.
And that comes from a good place, but at the same time, it has built upon, I think, some of the discrimination that we see in our community. So, I definitely would love for more openness, I want to say. Like more storytelling, maybe more opportunities for us to genuinely like get to know each other about like, what it does genuinely look like for us in our community. Right. I think about, I had one of my students come up to me one time, and it's definitely about disability, but she came up to me one time and she was wondering about like, can I really wear my hair all different types of ways? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like all of these questions about like, how much can I share? How much can I not share about my disability, about my culture, about all sorts of things? And I'm like,
Sometimes even being a mother versus being a father. Women with kids are looked at as not being able to complete as much work.
Yes.
Men with kids are looked at as being more able, like, oh, he can get all this work done and he has kids. So a lot of women have foregoed having pictures of their kids on their desks because they don't want to be put in a box.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah. We need to stop doing that, y'all.
No,
Listen.
on the real, like,
I'm just saying.
kill that, you know?
I'm curious, like, okay, so I have this one question. So we're talking about these concepts of disability justice. How do you define disability justice? Like, what does it mean? What does it look like to you? I'm curious.
For me, it looks like equity.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Being able to not only like follow your dreams, but take all the necessary steps to reach those dreams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without limitations.
Yeah.
That for me is disability justice. For me, it looks like, you know, I think, and shout out to my family. They've always kind of put in my head like, oh, you could do anything you ever wanted to do. You know what I mean? And that's like, it's so cliche.
Yeah.
But I believe the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, okay, bet.
Facts.
And they've always like drilled it in my head to where I was like, okay, I'm gonna just take all the necessary steps to get, here in this seat right here with y'all. Like, you know, so that's for me what that looks like without any limitations. And that's, from family too, because not every family's supportive.
Yeah.
You know, and it's unfortunate in our community, but not every family is supportive just because of those stigmas.
Right.
And that fear that comes with like our families of, okay, like how are they going to handle the world, you know what I mean, with their disability.
Right.
So I get it. You know what I mean? I get where the fear is coming from. But, you know, with that being said, you just kind of have to let us do us. And I think, you know, even from a governmental standpoint, it's like, we got to thrive, man. Like you can't just like say, oh, you know, we're not disabled because now we're doing this or we have this position and things like that. It's not really fair. You know what I mean? I think it's kind of hard, and this might be kind of a crazy statement, but I feel like it's kind of hard to be successful and disabled sometimes.
Girl,
because of society.
The struggle be real.
The struggle be real. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a lot we have to go through just to even reach our goals.
Right.
So yeah, that's
sometimes just to show up to the job.
Just to show up, it's so difficult. Like transportation, like don't get me started. Like, you know, for real.
Facts. Equity. I like that.
It's a good one, Sabeerah. I think for me, it's consideration. I don't think people, you know, situations, offices, events, access is not always considered. And now that I'm managing Sabeerah, I've exposed to that even more.
Yep.
And I just think it's a huge issue. Like we consider gender, but we don't consider, you know, someone in a wheelchair or someone who needs a certain accommodation. And I think it's a simple thing to just think outside the box and think, what would somebody else need that, you know, I wouldn't necessarily need. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely consideration and inclusion.
I agree with that one because, shoot, like we have a friend, her name's Jackie Romini. She's like an amazing sculpture artist and she has a disability. And it's crazy. Like she's done galleries, you know, and she's been invited to galleries where it's completely inaccessible. So her work is very much rooted in disability justice.
Right.
In particular, her amazing work on her Access Denied project, where she basically takes a photo in front of these spaces that aren't accessible in protest.
Right.
And I think that's such a powerful thing to do because it's like, you know, one, don't invite us anywhere if you know it's not accessible. Don't like you have to again you have to think outside that box.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't by the time we got all the way there, that's a problem.
Yeah.
You know? Definitely we don't want accessibility to be this afterthought.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
should be built into the concept from
bingo,
day one.
bingo. That's that consideration. So
Yes.
for sure, yeah, I
Yes.
agree.
I think I would say two things, very much spin off what y'all was saying. One, I want to see that creativity in the space. You know
Love
what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
I want to see us really thinking about when you go to a place like, you know, Coachella of where we're at, it's so beautiful. There's so much thought put into all of the different art pieces, the curated spots. Like that's creativity.
Right.
And that creativity can translate into what we're doing in our communities, the ways in which we design the infrastructure of our place, the ways in which we think about what happens at the job and job positions. Like it's a challenge. It can be challenging to be creative, but I think it is a necessary component of disability justice if our community is really going to be a part of it.
Oh yeah.
I think the second thing is I want to just see more community. Like we had a participant last weekend for the Accessible Plus program at Coachella. Her name is Nakia. And she is an incredible influencer. I wish I remember her handle. I think it's Charmaine.
Yeah.
Something. Dang, I'm messing it up.
We're going to put it in there.
We're going to put it in there.
We're going to put it in
there. But Nakia, she is such a beautiful representation of deaf culture. And she's constantly inviting people into sign language. And, you know, she talks about in her family, like people, whether you're hearing or not hearing, you learn how to sign. And
literally,
like stuff like that is important because I don't want people to feel like, oh, I can't talk to deaf folks because I don't know how to sign.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't want to speak to this person who might be in a wheelchair or whatever the case may be because I don't know how to interact with the body. Like those things are kind of like, I understand the hesitancy if you've not quite been in the community before, but like, come kick it.
Right.
Come kick it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I mean, well, one, shout out to Nakia.
Shout out to Nakia.
Man, like
she's so amazing.
And she does BASL, which is like amazing. And that's like, she made me like her and our other participant, Keela, like they both made me want to learn ASL so bad. Like it's lit. But yeah, definitely. I love that you brought up creativity. I mean, because we got a creative artist right behind you.
God.
So shout out to Jennifer White Johnson, who is an amazing disabled artist who did our Accessible Plus bandanas, man. Like she was a huge inspiration on the theme for this year, for sure.
Yes.
You know, she was like accessible future can look so many different ways. It can look like rest. It can look like, I was like, whoa.
Facts.
It's powerful right there.
Yes.
So
oh my gosh, I love to see it.
Yeah, like that creativity is definitely important.
Yes.
And being able to highlight that. I think platforms like these where we're able to highlight that is really important too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Y'all have any final thoughts for the people? What do you want to say to folks?
Oh man,
community?
Put your people on, man.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to support your friends. Like
bring them in.
Bring them in.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
we need that. If we're gonna be growing and elevated,
that's what I'm saying.
Being creative and all the things, you better get with your people who know how to do this, and that.
Yeah, don't be looking elsewhere. Like you don't have to look super far. Your community's right there.
Facts.
Just do it.
I love that.
Get it together.
I love that.
I would say just love each other. It takes too much energy to hate or to be mean to the next person. Like just show love all around. It'll be returned.
Yep.
I love
every
that.
single time.
Facts.
Yep.
Sis, thank you.
Thank you,
Sis,
Keri.
I appreciate it.
Love
Thanks
you.
for coming through.
Yes.
Love y'all so much.
Love you both.
Love you.
Listen,
Love y'all.
So we represent so many different things in the industry, but today we're here talking about the Accessible Plus program. That's very much an empowerment of BIPOC disabled people.
Yep.
We have producers, we have photographers, we have artists, we have so many folks who are doing amazing things, and we just want to see you thrive. Connect with the Accessible Plus program. Find us on the Coachella website under our community programs. You can join our Discord. You can look out for our applications dropping when we bring folks out to Coachella, and we're building and get connected to so many different things. And if you're an ally, we need you too. You know what I'm saying? We connect with all of the different community programs and different people who just want to see us all getting together and make an incredible move. So we invite you in. I ain't gonna front. Don't be passive. Be active.
Hey, yeah, be real active.
Be active about it.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to connect with you. So until next time, y'all have an amazing, amazing time.
Yes.
And listen, the future is rest. Get your rest, boo.
Yeah. Because Coachella's about to start in a few hours now?
I tell you, we about to be out there.
Get as much rest as possible because we about to go crazy. All right. Let's go.
That part.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thanks again.
All right.
Thank
Peace
you.
and love, y'all. Thank you.
Yes.